Hi, this is Dave. Welcome to my August vinyl finds video. The records I'm going to show you today, about half of them I purchased at local record stores, a couple thrift store finds, and the other half I purchased online. I rarely buy records online. I'm pretty lucky that there are lots of great record stores where I live, but I received a prepaid Visa card as a rebate from my insurance company, so free money. What do you do with free money? Buy records, of course. First is the current reissue of De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising. Nice custom inners. Yellow vinyl. And a reproduction of the original comic insert. This record is a great time from start to finish. You probably already know it. This reissue, it sounds excellent, and it's much, much cheaper than you're going to find an original, if you can find one at all. Second is Jack Frost. As seen on TV, this is a current 2025 reissue. This is a side project of two of Australia's greatest exports, Grant McLennan of the Go-Betweens and Steve Kilbey of the Church. This includes their self-titled record, their second record, Snow Job, which had never been on vinyl before, and some bonus tracks. What I really like about this, it's got a sound of its own. You would think that this might just be Go-Betweens and Church outtakes. It's not. It really is a great record. You got some jangly pop rock. You also have some moody, atmospheric tracks. This is fantastic. Thanks, Married to Vinyl, for turning me on to this record. Next, Neko Case, The Worse Things Get, The Harder I Fight. This is her seventh record from 2013. Lovely custom inner. And it's on her Lady Pilot record label. This is indie rock at its best. I don't think Neko Case has ever made a bad record. Incredible voice. Great pickup. Next, the Soft Boys, Underwater Moonlight. This is a current reissue. Comes with a nice Obi style strip. Beautiful, real thick, glossy gatefold cover. Light sea blue, or whatever you would call this, light blue vinyl. And an excellent, excellent full color booklet. This is neo psychedelic jangly guitar pop. This is a real influential record for the Paisley Underground movement. I know this record was a big influence on REM. Michael Stipe had talked about this record quite often. Excellent quality, excellent sound, all analog mastering, which is always a bonus for me. Underwater Moonlight. Next is Josh Rouse. This is record Nashville from 2005. Josh Rouse is a singer-songwriter in the indie rock vein. This is catchy pop songs. This has a real early 1970s AM radio vibe. Despite the title, this is definitely not a country record. Next is Iris DeMent, In My Life. This was originally put out in 1994. This is a recent Yep Rock reissue. It's on maroon vinyl. This is a country folk record. Iris DeMent has just a gorgeous, emotional voice. Glad to have this. Next is the Bears, self-titled record from 1987. The Bears started off as a local Cincinnati band called the Raisins. They were probably one of the most popular local bands at the time, but they hooked up with Adrian Belew and formed the Bears, and they recorded 2 records. This is straight ahead pop rock. There's no prog here, no Adrian Belew, funky guitar. Definitely has that 1987 production sound, but overall it's a great record. The hit off here was called Fear Is Never Boring. Glad to pick up the Bears. Next, Terry Reid, The Hand Don't Fit the Glove. This is a 1985 reissue on the UK C for Miles label. I knew of the name Terry Reid, and obviously when he recently passed, kind of brought his name to the forefront. Never had a Terry Reid record, never listened to one before, but his story is so interesting. He turned down 2 gigs, which he probably would have reconsidered if he had the opportunity after the fact. Jimmy Page offered him the lead vocalist job for Led Zeppelin. He turned that down, but he referred Robert Plant to him, so the rest is history. He was also offered the lead vocalist gig in Deep Purple. I think it was after Rod Evans left. He turned that down as well. I don't really know a lot about this. I'm looking forward to digging deep into this compilation and maybe dig deeper into Terry Reid's catalog. Next, Thomas Dolby, The Flat Earth from 1984. This is one of those records that I couldn't believe I didn't already own. That's why I love having my collection in Discogs so much. I think this record really stands up today. Thomas Dolby, I don't think he really got the credit that he deserves. A lot of people look at him as a one-hit wonder from She's Blinding Me with Science. But this album, I think, is fantastic. Still stands up today. This has the hit Hyperactive on it, but every track I think is outstanding on here. Next is the Traveling Wilburys, Volume 1 from 1988. One of the world's most laid-back supergroups. Jeff Lynne, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, George Harrison, and Roy Orbison. What record label is this on? This is on Warner Brothers. Also comes with a cool insert and the history of the Wilbury family on the back. Excellent pickup. Next is Beck, Mellow Gold. This is the recent 2025 reissue. So happy to have this. You know, there was no way I was going to find a original of this at a reasonable price. This sounds great. Nice glossy reproduction of the original insert. And on the rare color black vinyl. Next is M&M Mystery Walk from 1984. This is the band formerly known as Martha and the Muffins. This was the first record, I believe, that they became just a duo. Nice insert. This is on the Canadian Current Records label. Excellent record. Two of my favorite Martha and the Muffins tracks. Cooling the Medium and Black Stations, White Stations is on here. Excellent record from M&M. Next record, a Blind Buy. This is Street Funk, 1968 to 1974. I don't know any of these singles, but the hype on the back. This is Street Funk brings you 14 tracks of hard-hitting, heavy funk, which sums up the sound of 1970s Black America, a combination of fat-back drums, syncopated bass, rhythmic guitars, and explosive vocals. Count me in on that. Looking forward to digging into this. Next is the band 999. This is High Energy Plan from 1979. They were a UK punk band, best known for the single Homicide. It's on the PVC label. The track Homicide is on this. Great punk from 1979. Finally, every once in a while you're going through the thrift store bins and something just tells you, oh, you should really pick up this record. This is Moongas by Dick Hyman and Mary Mayo. This is definitely space age, bachelor pad music. And I was quite surprised when I got it home and looked up on Discogs. This is quite a bit of value. Not bad for a $1 thrift store pickup. Thanks everybody for watching.